Welcome back. Several lawmakers coming under scrutiny after reports that they bought and sold stocks as the coronavirus pandemic escalated and just before markets cratered. Joining me right now is Senate Joint Economic Committee member and Senate Health, Education, Labor and Pensions Committee member, Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler. Senator, it's great to have you on the program this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Maria. It's great to be here.
So, Kelly, I want to get right to the controversy. I know you a lot of years. I know that you know the rules. Your husband owns the New York Stock Exchange. You've got your own rules that you followed for years. And yet, on March 10th, you sold all this stock. March 10th and 11th. On March 11th, at the close of trading, President Trump announced he was restricting travel to and from Europe. You sold the stock after you got a briefing on the pandemic, which, of course, was top secret. This doesn't look good, Senator. You want to explain it?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking, Maria. This is exactly what this left-wing blog wants you to believe that published this story. It's the same blog that's attacking the president and his family and his administration continuously for the handling of the coronavirus. I want to tell you and all your viewers, I have not profited. I've never sought to profit from my position at the Senate. I'm here to serve all Georgians. In fact, I donate my paycheck to good charities around Georgia doing hard work, serving our citizens. I went to Georgia after a nearly I went to the Senate after a nearly three-decade career in the private sector, in financial services, where I conducted myself with the highest levels of integrity. Third-party managers manage all of our investments. I have no communication with them, and this is cherry-picking for dates and times around events that are completely unrelated to my investment manager's decisions or any meetings or communications I've had.
So you didn't know any of the specific names that they were buying or selling? Because, you know, somebody said to me the other day, look, because I was saying, look, she didn't know what was being sold. And they said, look, Maria, it's not just what she sold, but it's actually what she bought. And a closer look at what you bought things like Amazon, you bought Citrix Systems, you know, a networking software company that obviously was going to do well during a shutdown. So what do you say about the things that you actually bought, Kelly?
Well, Maria, as I said, I don't buy or sell any of my stocks. My portfolio managers are looking at the economy, they're looking at earnings, they're looking at any number of factors. I don't even know what factors they take into account, and doing continuous buys and sells. Many of our purchases end up being the result of option strategies implemented long ago. I don't pretend to understand those strategies or when they were implemented. I report them transparently through the process that we have in Senate ethics, and that process of transparency has led to attacks on my portfolio, and I am here to tell you that all of those are transactions that I had no involvement in and had nothing to do with any meetings I'm in.
All right, let's move on, because I know that there is an investigation underway. We will follow it. But, Senator, you've got fresh eyes in the Senate. You come from the business world. Like I said, you have been in business for a long time, not just in exchanges and Bitcoin, but also you're one of the owners of the Atlanta Dream. So you actually have real opinions in terms of getting back to work, whether it be from business or from sports. The president commented yesterday on reopening the economy. Listen to this. I want to get your reaction.
There are some places that are hit very hard, and other places have not been hit very hard, frankly. So we're looking at two concepts. We're looking at the concept where you open up sections, and we're also looking at the concept where you open up everything. I think we have a chance to really open big and really open with an up and catch where we were, because we do have tremendous stimulus.
How do you think the economy should be reopened, Senator?
Look, I totally agree with the way that the president is addressing this. We're looking at the health of Americans, but we're also looking at the health of the economy. And I know people are hurting, and I've been working hard to fight for Georgians, whether it's small businesses, farmers, others impact. Everyone's been impacted by this. And so I think his approach to listening to the medical experts, the science, but also looking at how do we reduce the impact, and I did my part in the Senate to help shape the CARES Act, and now I'm working hard with Georgians around the state to deliver that relief in the form of economic impact checks, small business loans. And so I think we have to take a hard look at how the curve is getting flattened. I think everyone is doing their part to do that through social distancing, but we need to get back to work as soon as the medical experts deem that that's possible.
So in terms of the CARES Act, what do you think it will take to actually make people whole? These businesses, some of them will not come back because they are shut down right now. Do you think we will see a fourth leg of relief? Are we going to see a phase 4 stimulus package?
I do. I think, I was speaking with Leader McConnell last night. We're working hard to look at ways to expand the funding under the Paycheck Protection Plan, which gives the small businesses more relief, expanding that up potentially to $600 billion very, very soon. And then if a fourth round of funding in the form of legislation is needed, I think we'll take a hard look at that and make sure that it's targeted specifically at helping these businesses stay on their feet and make sure their doors stay open, because keeping employers connected with their employees, those employees being able to have the benefits, the health benefits in particular that they rely on, is just critical.
What about long-term, Senator? How do you think this changes our lives long-term? I mean, think about your position on the Atlanta Dream, what's going on at the WNBA right now, and all sports being shut down. Look at the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Your husband is the CEO of ICE, which is owner of the New York Stock Exchange. No trading on the floor. Is that going to come back? Do you think we do go back to the same way we lived beforehand, or will there be sort of fundamental changes in the way we approach things?
I think you're right, Maria. There will be some changes. I think Americans are eager to get back to their lives as they knew them. I think businesses will reopen. Sports, we're all missing our sports right now. It's one of the hardest things to have to go without. It's that one thing that brings our country together, that unites us in a way that little else can. And I think things like the New York Stock Exchange are looking at ways to keep everyone safe and then get back to business as normal, just like every other business is. Restaurants, I mean, we miss our restaurants and bars and our churches, and I think everyone is seeking to return to that way of life.
Yeah, for sure. And the state of Georgia faced some criticism because it reopened some beaches over the weekend. Many people not practicing social distancing on those beaches. Meanwhile, in neighboring states like Florida, all the public beaches are closed, as well as the piers. What about that? Did you move too quickly in Georgia?
Well, what Governor Kemp did was move to bring consistency across a patchwork of rules and requirements that were laid out by various cities and counties across our state. Everyone's working very hard to comply with social distancing, but law enforcement will address it if people are not practicing that, and they are empowered to do that.
All right, Senator, great to have you this morning. Come back soon. Thanks very much.